You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Tuesday the 29th of July 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. Now, I wanted to get some writing done today. I wanted to do some work on chapter 2 of, I nearly said Empress of the Trees. No, that's done for now. Self-portrait. Chapter 2 is, it's a very different chapter to what it was originally going to be. So the original version had, as I may have said before, Molly in hospital after a suicide attempt and Isabel with her. That's gone out the window. That chapter may see the light of day, but it won't be Molly that's in the hospital. It might be a character I've introduced today, actually. So basically what the chapter I've written about today is, without going into too much detail, is so Molly's future. Molly basically being effectively a temporal refugee, someone from the past, now living in the modern day. She's been here a few months now. She's acclimatised really, really well, but she originally wanted nothing to do with the Sutherland Institute, which are the people who kind of manage people with these abilities. However, Isabel has persuaded her to be someone who looks after temporal refugees. So at the end of the first book, at the end of Still Life, they discover that there are thousands of pictures that Max Sosi has painted that have got human souls trapped in them. And there's a bit of a discussion like how far back is too far back. So Molly was trapped in a painting in 1915. It can be argued that she's actually acclimatised to the modern day very, very well. So in the previous book, which was said a few months before, we've got her, not wanting to wear jeans because she considers them indecent and that kind of stuff. I've leapt ahead a few months now, and the description I give of her is in, tight jeans, t-shirt. She's got earbuds in. She's listening to music. She's at home. She's adopted technology. She's enjoying being in the current century. And so it kind of makes sense for someone who's acclimatised that well to help other people to do so. So this chapter is all about basically Molly becoming a transition partner, or somebody to work with the temporal refugees. Now, you may not remember, at the end of Still Life, Molly inherited the house, the Ainsley estate, basically. So she's got the house, she's kept the staff. They've been briefed on who Molly really is and who her new guests are going to be. And basically, Molly's going to use her estate to help temporal refugees, people from the past, adjust to life in the modern day. So that's her story arc. And the first person that we meet has actually been referred to. This is lovely because it wasn't my intention, but in the first book there are a few references to a Max Sosi picture of an air transport auxiliary pilot who were always female. Well, they weren't always female, but an air transport auxiliary pilot standing in front of a Lancaster bomber during the Second World War. There's a couple of references to this painting in the first book, and to be honest with you, it was just because it was an interesting image. Now, the Air Transport Auxiliary were basically female pilots who used to fly aeroplanes to where they were needed to go into battle. So they didn't go into battle, but they were effectively, what we call it now is positioning, where you take an aircraft from where it is to the position you need it in. So they used to position the aircraft as pilots from wherever they were to wherever they would be needed for the male pilots to take them into battle. So my character, and I'm just trying to remember her surname, Evelyn. Let me just find out her surname. Evelyn, sorry. It's all new. Evelyn Kershaw was an air transport auxiliary pilot. And so just the fact that her picture had appeared in the first book is great. And now we get to meet her because she is selected to be the first person to be freed from a Sosi picture. And one of the reasons they chose her is that being from the 1940s, it's not going to be as difficult for her to acclimatise as even it was for Molly. Also, she's a very practical. I mean, she accepts almost immediately that something big has happened in her life, that there's been a big change. And in fact, her first thought when she realises that Molly is also an ex-victim of Max Sosi, her first thought was, you poor girl, did he do to you what he did to me? Because Molly is 17 or 18 and Evelyn is in a late 20s, she's like 27. So her first thought was, oh, you poor girl, you've been a victim of this beast as well. So there's an automatic connection between the two, which is rather nice. Unfortunately, they free a second person in this chapter. I'm going to stop saying what happens now. But there's a second person. The idea is initially Molly's going to look after 2 of these temporal refugees, and something happens to the second one. It's quite horrendous actually. But basically, she had moments of life left when she was trapped in the picture, and when she's released, she doesn't last very long. Now, this is stupid because I've told you the entire plot of the chapter that I've just written, and I need to get out of the habit of doing that. It's such an early one, it's like the second chapter, so it's no big deal. But obviously I can't continue to do that. But anyway, as it stands, I have written, let me just get the word count up. No, that's just the word Evelyn. I have written 4,423 words. The first version of the chapter is complete. So tomorrow I will do some editing, and the day after I will do some editing, and hopefully I will end this month having written the first 3 chapters, well, the first 2, the prologue and the first 2 chapters of this book, and then we will launch into next month. And I'm still mulling over how many words I'm going to set myself as the target for August. I am working all of August, so I need to take that into consideration, but I have got a figure in mind, but I shall decide definitely in the next couple of days, and I will announce it on the podcast on the 1st. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.